Alright, everybody, Hitmonchan. Is it any good? Are they any good, I should say? Hitmonchan, Hitmonlee, everybody's favorite cool-ass motherfucking pokies. So, when I started this run here, I didn't kind of really know what the hell I was doing. I didn't really exactly know what Pokemon I wanted. I wanted to do something, just kind of spontaneous. And eventually I just kind of came up with Hitmonchan. I kind of reached that conclusion somewhere around Rock Tunnel. I was like, maybe I'll go for Hitmonchan, and we'll see how it goes. Again, I remember playing Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee a lot back in Fire Red, but I haven't really done any super interesting Hitmonchan or Lee, expeditions in the original Red and Blue, when I was younger. And of course, I'm trying to do like almost every Pokemon here. I ended up, having a hard time in Viridian Forest. I don't know why. I managed to learn Bubble this time, which is good, but I don't know why I keep just struggling so much in the very beginning of this game. To me, like, I feel like the beginning is probably one of the easier parts. I don't know. It's just everything is super slow and like mistakes really pile up more. But anyway, here's Brock. Brock was no problem at all. Bubble, bye-bye, etc. I should say. And now we're going to be going into Route 3, Mount Moon. Also, I'm at the point, this is my 5th run. Check out the useful chart at the left-hand side of the screen here. This is a very... Whoa, holy shit. My microphone stand just completely fell apart. Well, it almost did. It started falling gravitationally. Anyway, that's the chart. Look over there. And goodbye. But of course, what are the rules to this run? This is an alternative main run, which is a speedrun category. So, but I also throw some of my own rules on top of that. So I'm using the Glitchless Classic rule set. For example, I cannot use a Pokédoll on Marowak, is one example of what Glitchless Classic means. I am playing these runs in a single segment format, so I'm not saving and loading, so that means if I lose against the rival, or the champion I should say, I have to go do the Elite Four all over again, but with the added benefit that I get to carry the experience forward and so on, so it's not all the way super, duper hard, it just takes longer. And so here's, speaking of the champion, here's the rival, the first, kind of actual rival fight. Took me a couple potions, but I managed to eventually whittle this fella down. And, again, so I don't quite know what Pokemon I'm going to go for at this moment yet, so I'm just kind of playing the first part of the game while thinking on it, while stewing on it, letting the tetrahydrocannabinol, just extend into my synapses. And, Nugget Bridge, no, nothing here, we got Misty as the next interesting thing to come up with here, for, commentary-wise. So, back to the rules, again, single segment, which means no saving and loading. An alternative main basically means, in Pokemon speedruns, Nidoking is their main Pokemon. So alternative main just means use mostly a single Pokemon. Of course, you gotta play the game somewhat semi-normally until you get that Pokemon. This is not a custom starter. This is on the original cartridge, as you can see in my nice little introduction sequence. I do play on original cartridges, on original hardware, on a Super Game Boy 2. And so, again, maybe at some point I'll do custom starter, but at this point, one of the core issues here is to actually find and catch the Pokemon. Now, Hitmonchan is not one of those instances. You kind of get one for free. Well, you gotta fight for it, and we'll get into that later. Anyway, Misty. Is Misty gonna be easy or difficult? I don't know. I've got the Wartortle, so should be pretty easy. Bite is just super fucking good in this game. It's a lot better, I think, in Gold and Silver and even Ruby and Sapphire, but just Bite's a really good fucking attack. So Misty is no big problem, super easy. Normally I struggle with Misty a little bit more, but maybe I'm just getting good at this game. I don't know. Use the bathroom. But again, so the previous run I did was a Safari Zone run where I ended up with Kangaskhan. So again, getting the Pokemon is an integral part of this run. This is not just a custom starter run where you just have the Pokemon from the start and play the game like normal. And that's what to me is fun about this, because, there are lots of routing implications, because the way that the alternative main category is defined defined as you want to get the main with the minimum number of gym badges, right? So that means, you know, not doing Lieutenant Surge right after this rival battle, for instance, which, by the way, here we are, a rival battle. Once again, still with War Turtle, so it's no, you know, I don't know, like, maybe I should be using, like, a Nidoran at the start of this, just because I think it is faster for some of these areas, especially when you get the Nidoking, you know, by the second rival fight. But the thing is, like, I do kind of, and this is also, like, I'm, you know, in flux, but I am kind of in a position where I want to do, I want to use the minimum number of Pokemon, necessary. And so right here, I kind of realize, oh shit, I don't have anything that can learn Cut. So I get into a panic, if you will. I grab the bike as well. That's how you know I'm panicking. And so I get into a panic, and eventually I managed to get this Oddish. And then I was thinking, should I do an Oddish run? And then I was like, well, fuck. If I wanted to do an Oddish run, I should have gotten it before the SS Hand. So that's out of the way. And again, I wanted to do something kind of in the post-Rock Tunnel. And so, territory. And so again, my favorite part about doing the alt main category is actually incorporating catching or finding the Pokemon into the run, and avoiding certain fights that I normally would do, like earlier, that kind of stuff. I find the routing implications to be a lot more fun. And again, I'm really trying to learn how to not only speedrun Pokemon Red and Blue, but I'm just trying to, like, dissect the game in my own way while I do all of these. So doing runs that have different types of routes, and I want to go to different areas sooner than later, and kind of like you have to, you know, forego doing the optimal route in a lot of areas. It's fun for me. I enjoy it. Of course, I'm playing on Pokemon Red version this time around. No implications, no exclusives that I'm going for specifically, though I did get an Oddish. I believe that's a Red exclusive, right? Rock Tunnel, I gotta do something about Rock Tunnel, because I fucking suck at Rock Tunnel. Like, I'm just, I'm not, maybe I should switch to Bulbasaur in these kinds of runs. I'm not sure. Like, I feel like Rock Tunnels really, it causes me a lot of stress with the Slowpokes, and just the sheer number of trainers. I always find that I never have enough repels, because I always buy enough repels, assuming I'll do Rock Tunnel first try, and then I fuck up Rock Tunnel, and then I run out of repels. It's a huge problem. And so you can see me really struggling here. This footage is played back at 16 times speed, by the way. Of course, I do, another rule I should say is I do play, again, on real cartridge, real hardware, which means I do play in real time. And so to me, endurance is a major factor for this stuff. I know a lot of, you know, people, when they play Pokemon games, they just hold down the space bar to win. At least that's what I used to do when I was in middle school playing Pokemon at the lunchtime computer. I'd get, like, you know, 3 hours of progress done in just about 20 minutes. You know, the space bar is pretty awesome. But of course, there is no space bar on the Super Famicom. So at this point, I found a Growlithe, and I was like, well, maybe I'll catch a Growlithe, and maybe I'll turn this into a Growlithe run. But that didn't end up working, so then I went back to do the main quest, which was get Hitmonchan. But I was totally willing to grab that Growlithe if necessary. And so now we're in the fighting dojo here, and that's where Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee are. But you do kind of need to deal with some of these guys here. And I thought this would be a little bit easier, to be honest with you. I was shocked at how much I got fucked over. Of course, I've got a level 35 Wartortle, so, you know, pretty decent. But this guy's got level 37 Hitmonlee, and Hitmonlee just totally decimated me. Or I should say decimated me, and it's not so good. Tried again, Hitmonchan fucked me up. Hitmonchan, my best, or my soon-to-be best friend, betrayed me. And so this is around when I was like, okay, let's try it again with some items. Are items gonna be beneficial? Maybe I can use some items. No, items did not work out. So then I was like, well, I'm level 35. Let me see if I can grab level 36 real quick, level up, evolve to Blastoise, and then let's see if Blastoise can do this. And it turns out Blastoise very easily could do this. You know, Blastoise is super defensive, and of course, the Hitmons are a lot, you know, they're physical attackers. Their special stats are really bad. So all I really had to do was level up, evolve into Blastoise, and now here we go. We've got Hitmonchan. And so one of the things I like doing is I like naming my main Pokemon just MN, you know, the Mon symbol. That I don't know how long I'll keep that up, but you know, that's what I'm doing right now. And so Hitmonchan, I didn't, like, you know, I knew, like, you know, from my understanding of Pokemon, I knew Hitmonchan is not particularly a good Pokemon, but, like, I really overestimated Hitmonchan's abilities. Hitmonchan I very soon realized doesn't learn any motherfucking fighting moves, just zero, other than moves that have static damage output, like a seismic toss or whatever, and then counter, which is technically a fighting move, just really sucks to set up, and it's super, like, you know, it's unreliable. And this is when I realized, like, Hitmonchan is gonna suck, and I made a grave mistake. And really, it's a huge problem. These Giovanni fights, super easy. I just throw in Blastoise, you know, for some help. I kind of struggle with, you know, with whether or not I should do that. Like, how soon should I put my starter, that's usually more leveled up, when I'm doing, like, a post-Rock Tunnel, you know, catch. You know, I hesitate on when I should put the starter back in, whether or not I should use it to swap trains. So I decided at this point, just throw Blastoise away, and Blastoise does not come back. I opt for Lapras later to get Surf and Strength on, so that I didn't end up needing to use Blastoise. So maybe I'll switch over to Bulbasaur, because then that would solve my cut problem. But anyway, we're going back into Vermilion City. I know that there's gotta be some method of consistency on the trash can puzzle. I didn't, like, I kind of got really lucky here. I don't really know what I'm doing on the trash can puzzle, and I lost to the lieutenant. Can you believe it? You know, and I can claim to be an anti-war activist, you know, come on now. You know, I don't know. I guarantee you I sound like an idiot to people that know the trash can puzzle solution, but, you know, I struggle with that. I always get confused. I'm sure that there's a consistent method, or at least a semi-consistent method, and there I go, talking over the entire boss fight. Oh well. You know, I tried to teach Hitmonchan some TMs. This is before I looked up, like, just a list of TMs Hitmonchan could learn. I was like, well, yeah, Primeape can learn Thunderbolt. Why not Hitmonchan? You know, because my running theory was that Primeape could learn Thunderbolt. By the way, here's the rival fight. This one's not too hard. I am a little over-leveled by this point. You know, Hitmonchan, while terrible, not that terrible, you know, when it comes to this specific rival fight. But I was thinking, you know, Primeape can learn Thunderbolt because they're really fast, and that's like a manga anime thing. You know, you're super fast, and then there's the lightning and all that, man. Right, so then I realized Kangaskhan can learn Thunderbolt. Well, now I'm confused. And then Hitmonchan also can't learn Thunderbolt, but they can learn Thunder Punch. Right? Yeah. Thunder Punch. So the thing is, the Hitmonchan has horrendous special in this game, the special stat, and just absolutely, like, not that good. And so in order for, like, Thunder Punch to even be remotely useful, or Fire Punch or Ice Punch, you kind of need to just, like, you know, it has to be a super effective move for it to even be remotely useful. And even then, Double Edge, which I did get, by the way, I didn't mention it earlier, but I did get Double Edge, because I thought, you know what, Double Edge is probably going to be the best physical move I can end up using. And even though I have to deal with the recoil damage, and also I'm trying to catch a Spearow here, because I do need someone that can learn Fly, so got to catch this mother. Damaging it was kind of a concern, so I had to, like, swap around, and then, Great Ball. All right, so introducing F to the team. F for Fly, of course. So again, you know, in order for Thunder Punch or Ice Punch to be useful, you really need to have it be, like, super effective against somebody. Otherwise, it just deals so low damage. Though the thing is, the best one in my estimation is Ice Punch, because Ice Punch has a chance to freeze the opponent. And in Red and Blue, freezing lasts forever unless you use Fire Punch, and then you can actually have a chance to defrost them. So I did run into an issue where I used Ice Punch, ran out of PP, and then had to resort to Fire Punch, and then that did defrost an enemy at one point. So, you know, that is kind of something I had to deal with, which was kind of funny. But then I think I replaced Fire Punch with Thunder Punch at some point. So, but yeah. Go to the Safari Zone. You know, I don't need to talk to that. Anyway, let's try Erica. I've got Ice. I've got Fire. And this Weepin' Bell just wraps me. And again, my second run of this was Victory Bell. And so, if you can see, like, I'm having a little bit of a, like, PTSD moment, except I'm on the other end of it. I was rapping motherfuckers till the cows came home in my Victory Bell run. And then now I'm on the receiving end of the rap. So I go to Silphco. And I'm trying to just, you know, get a couple more experience points, grab the rare candies, grab some items. Just kind of, like, I wasn't necessarily planning on fighting the rival here. I just kind of wanted to clear it out. until, you know, open up the area with the rival so that I could just kind of get some more experience, and then fly back to Caledon and try Erica once again. I decide at this point that I'm just gonna fight a bunch of the trainers in here, just get some more levels. It's not the best way to grind some experience, but like I was really starting to feel how bad Hitmonchan was. I lost to Erica, or I didn't even lose to Erica. I lost to the first fucking gym trainer in Erica's gym, so I was like, ooh, not good. Certainly not a good scenario. Malu Momen, if you will. And so again, immediately the victory bell totally gets revenge on me. How dare you main another Pokemon besides me, is what this victory bell is saying. And so I'm saying, well, I'm trying my best here. Also, by the way, in the Safari Zone, I got Double Team. I forgot to mention that, but here you go. Double Team also, to my knowledge, it does trigger the badge boosting glitch, where, you know, it kind of re-rolls your statistics on the badges that give you extra boost. I think Double Team rolls it, but more importantly, Double Team increases my evasion, which, because Hitmonchan has such low special, which also is defensive in this game, of course, you know, I went to Go Koga's gym, didn't go so well, so then I'm back at Sylph Corporation, but because my special is so bad, I wanted to get Double Team, so if I could just avoid getting hit like once or twice, I felt like that would save me. And then I was pretty sure that that also triggered the badge boosting effect, where it re-rolls all your stats based on whatever. I don't exactly know how it works. Anyway, here's an example of me getting a freeze. Really cool. And that's where I was like, yeah, okay, this is where I was starting to like, I was starting to, there was a, I know, I sound like Joe Biden over here, but there was, you know, a renaissance, a resurgence, if you will, in my faith for Hitmonchan, once I realized the freeze effect was actually pretty potent, pretty useful. You know, I was pretty happy about that. Didn't go so well against Koga here. Weezing totally fucked me over, so trying again. And once again, I love Koga. I love his cape. I love his pose in that little scene where he looks like he's in midair. Like, what's going on with that? So now that I've got full power points, might as well use Ice Punch to win. Again, the moment you get the freeze, like the moment you kind of just have a win, and then also if you get a freeze on like an early Pokemon, then that gives you free turns to just set up X special, X attack, X speed, whatever, or double teams. Just max out your double teams if you get a freeze, right? So, and then I use Double Edge there because, again, Hitmonchan is a physical attacker and a physical defender. So you do want to use that normal type move, even though you don't get the same type attack bonus. You do want to use that normal type move just to take advantage of the attack stat once in a while, right? So, again, I'm using Double Team here, try to beef myself up, trying to evade some of this stuff, especially with that Gyarados, because Gyarados does have some lower accuracy moves, so Double Team really helps me out. And then you got Double Edge, double over here, Double Bubble, my favorite bubble gum when I was a child. You know, you ever get Double Bubble, you know, it's bubble times 2. But anyway, fighting these rocket guys. We got Giovanni coming up. I got Lapras just for Surf and Strength. Named Lapras S for Surf and S for Strength. You know, pretty useful how that works out. Giovanni, you know, I used to slow down the Giovanni fights, but you know, whatever, man. Who cares? Giovanni's like, when you fight Giovanni, it's usually like after a rival fight, or like after, like, it's just, they're never, like, Giovanni never has more like levels than you do. Except for the gym maybe, but even then it's kind of when you're doing a main, just like a one Pokemon kind of run, it usually doesn't, Giovanni kind of sucks. Anyway, Pokemon Mansion, didn't even mention it's already over. Once again, 1984, language is important. Caterpie does not evolve into Butterfree. Caterpie evolves into Metapod, so I fight that first trainer. And then I started thinking to myself, well, Hitmonchan really fucking sucks right now, so I'm just going to fight some of these trainers just to grab some experience. And also because, like, I really fucking hate going through that system where you do the quiz. To me, it's just, like, the menuing, it's just super awkward, and then there's, like, the 17 text boxes that you have to get through. You want to mash A, but then, like, you're thinking, well, what if I mash A on accident? One more button press. So I just said, you know what, fuck it, I need levels anyway. Hitmonchan kind of sucks. I'm just gonna fight everyone in Blaine's gym. And I'm glad I did, because it ended up going pretty well. And again, Double Edge, just going to town with Double Edge, because, again, taking advantage of that physical attack stat. double-edged myself into failure, but I do have revive, so it was super easy to just go back in. Love Arcanine, super fluffy. Not as fluffy as in Pokemon Green version, I must say. But anyway, Blaine was super easy. I've kind of decided I'm just going to do Blaine before Sabrina, like, pretty much every time, because why not? Like, you know, like, Blaine you can get to at the same time, the same moment, and Sabrina's way harder than Blaine by a fucking country mile. So whatever, man. Anyway, speaking of which, Sabrina, let's give it a shot. Again, now I've got 3 extra Pokemon to swap into. I usually use the extra Pokemon just to swap into to heal my main. That's kind of how I go with this. And I like to have them on the weaker side so that I don't end up accidentally relying on them. That's why I boxed my starter for Blastoise. And so I lost against Sabrina. You know, who saw that one coming? I certainly didn't. So I decided to fight the 3 trainers that are on the way first, just to grab another level or 2. And then, let's see how it goes. So, Double Edge the Kadabra, get that motherfucker out of the way. Double Edge Mr. Mime, easy peasy. You know, Venomoth didn't go so well. Had to end up using a Hyper Potion, Psybeam. I wanted to use an X Speed here, X Attack, just to boost my stats. And then I got critical hitted. Critical hat. Criticaled. Anyway, I ended up getting fucked over. And so, I wasted all those turns. Should have used double team. That would have been a better scenario. But I was really concerned about the Alakazam. So I was trying to set up some shit, like, beforehand. And in doing so, I ended up taking a long time. I used the X speed just so that I could get that outspeeding on this, and then double edge with the boost of double team as well. At least I think the double team triggers the boost. Managed to get myself to victory, and then of course just go right into to Giovanni's gym. I ended up doing an extra trainer in Giovanni's gym just because I wanted to get the experience again. Hitmonchan, at this point I was really feeling scared of the Elite Four, even though again, like, Ice Punch and Thunder Punch are solid attacks. It's just that Hitmonchan's special stat is so horrendous. So I was really concerned. I just wanted to get a couple extra trainers in just so that I could grab a little extra experience. And it did end up paying off at the end, by the way. So, and by the way, is this the Giovanni fight already, or is this it? Is this the one? I don't even know. I mean, are we really fighting Giovanni? It's, you know, it's already over so fast. And Ice Punch to win. So again, like, the thing is, like, a lot of these guys, Ice Punch or Thunder Punch, are actually super effective against, so you can get at least decent damage. But the problem is, Hitmonchan's special defense is so horrendous. Well, there is no special defense, it's just special. That it's so horrendous that you really do, like, need to rely on getting a one-shot in some instances just to survive. So that's why Thunder and Ice Punch are a little concerned. I did get that one shot there. They are just so concerning. I got the critical on Gyarados, super nice. Go for the double teams here. You know, at this point, this is when I start to realize, like, okay, double team is actually super, like, good. So, one-shot the Alakazam, I was worried about that. The Venusaur, I was really concerned about, but, you know, Ice Punch actually did end up helping me out. So, you know, again, I got those extra trainers in Blaine's gym, and Giovanni's gym, and Sabrina's gym. It really gave me, like, 2 or 3 extra levels that I kind of felt like I needed, and ended up using. I also think at one point, I ended up using the bathroom here, by the way. But at one point, I used a rare candy earlier in the run because I was really struggling and I needed to revive Hitmonchan without a revive. I didn't mention it because I was, you know, I forgot to mention it. So I was lower than average on rare candies here. So, you know, I was kind of concerned about that. But also, you know, my confidence was like, it was not like 50-50 confidence in cowardice. It was like, I'm half 100% certain, and then half I'm not going to make it at all, if that makes any sense. But anyway, let's go in to fight the Elite Four. I know I have to do that. I don't have to, but I just have, you know, I have to come up with some way to fill time. Laura Lee, Lorelei, Laura Lou, whatever, Laura Loser more like, because totally easy. Just double team a little bit, then Thunder Punch to win. And when I'm not, you know, when I don't think Thunder Punch will be enough, I go for Double Edge. Lapras is usually causing me problems, but Double Edge I was managed to outspeed, but I lost my attack bonus from the double team. So I'm pretty sure double team does give you the badge boost. I'm pretty sure. But either way, Laura Lee first try. That's really cool. I was a little concerned about Bruno just because the special stat is so bad, but also as bad as Hitmonchan's special attack is. Onyx and stuff has a low special defense, so you know it kind of does even out a little bit. I did have to fight Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan there for a moment, but it was no big problem. On to Agatha. And Agatha I was concerned about, because again, the only way I can do damage here, I don't, like, double team or double edge is off the table for a lot of these guys, and I get the freeze. Oh my goodness, once again, this freeze really, like, made me, like, 100% confident. When I got that freeze against Gengar was when I decided, you know what, I think I'm gonna first try the Elite Four. And this may be the first run where I've actually first tried the Elite Four, and it just so happens to be with the worst Pokemon I've run so far with. Like, Kangaskhan was actually good, Primeape was actually good, Victreebel was actually good, Nidoking is actually good. Those were all user error when I fucked everything over. And then, again, this is just evidence that I'm actually getting, here I use my rare candies before Lance. This is actually evidence that I am getting better at Pokemon Red and Blue, because even with the worst Pokemon I've run with so far, I managed, spoiler alert, to get that first try Elite Four. And, you know, again, you want to set up your double teams against these Pokemon that really can't attack. I mean, I guess they maybe can attack. I don't really know. You know, like, the AI in Red and Blue has this thing where they would prioritize special effective moves against you, so, and that just happens to be moves that don't attack, so, you know, you want to set up your shit at that time. Anyway, here we go. Rival fight. I've been talking so much, but we gotta pay attention. It's the boss battle. It's the epic music. Everyone loves it. Here we got Pidgeot. The animations are on because it's awesome. And I'm really scared, so I'm just like, okay, I'll set up my double teams here. But also, I am a little concerned. Thunder Punch me, oh no, oh god, you know, maybe I would have liked to get another double team or two. I hit level 63, and if you don't know this, when you level up in Pokemon Red and Blue, it actually undoes your status changes, or something like that. I don't exactly know how these glitches work. This is all just from hearsay and having experience playing the game. So I kind of ended up getting pwned against Alakazam, and then I got a lucky crit on there. That was super awesome. So then my first thing here is like, okay, I'm going to try to double team up a little bit. I have super low health. I was a little concerned, but then, what, you know, I can dodge anything with double team. So I was like, all right, heal up. Ice Punch this Rhydon because double edge kind of sucks. I'm running low on PP here, so I'm really trying to measure myself. I did have 2 elixirs that I ended up using, and I ended up using both of them. So I was really low on PP. Double edge, Arcanine, you know, there you go. And now we got the last Pokemon. I don't have Ice Punch. Actually, no, I do have Ice Punch, but I think that was my last Ice Punch. Then I got a double edge to win. So close. Almost dead. And gone. There you go. That is Hitmonchan. That is the end of Pokemon Red version. And even though Hitmonchan really sucks, this ended up being my second best run. As you can see, consult the chart to the left. Or the right. Yeah, fuck it. I'll put it on the right. You know, this was my second best time, one of my best levels as well, and I was just like kind of blown away that Hitmonchan is so bad, but I somehow managed to make it work. I am getting better at the game, and so that got me thinking, like, what kind of time could I end up getting in Pokemon Red and Blue if I actually used a Pokemon that's not terrible,